So what is the best way to save for retirement? Do we start off with the 401k? Do we start off with an IRA? Where do we begin, and which objects or which tools in retirement should we use first? Today we discuss. So in this video, the 7 steps to saving for retirement. Here they are, the 7 steps. It'll be all timestamped down below if you want to skip to any particular portion of it. And in this video, I want you guys to learn how I approach tackling each phase, why I'm using this approach, and of course, if you want to find more information about things like this, be sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. I'm someone who played a lot of video games growing up, so I'm going to kind of equate this to how you would progress in a video game, in an RPG. The first thing you want to do before you even think about saving for retirement though is set up an emergency fund. Now you can think of this as saving your progress. By setting up an emergency fund, we make sure we don't go backwards and lose all the hard work we've done going forward in this game of retirement planning. So first, set up an emergency fund. That should be your #1 goal. All right, so now that we got the save progress cartridge all saved in the hard drive, or if you have a super old PS, you got the memory card and you got that all saved up. Probably no one got that anymore. Probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But after all that base is set up, first step, of course, to collect the free things. You're gonna run around town and get all the free equipment and everything that comes with you or comes with the game, like your free starter weapon, your free starter tunic, your free starter staff or wand. Now what does that look like in the retirement world? Well, let me first get the equips on first. Alright, so what does the free equip look like in the retirement game? Well, it's going to be the 401k employer match. Typically, employers will match anywhere between 3 to 5% of your annual salary. So, if you make $100,000 a year, your employer will match up to $3,000, that's 3% of your annual salary. And that's free. Like all these things in the game, perhaps if we're playing a game, they'll all be free and you are not going to be playing the game right if you don't start there. #2, since we've got, out of the free money part, that's like 100% return. What is next? Well, the first thing you're going to do when you start off in a video game is you're going to fight enemies. You're going to fight the low-class enemies, and what those are, who those people are, is credit card debt. So if you have high interest credit card debt, could be 12.99, could be 24.99%. Those are the things you're going to want to tackle first before we allocate any more money into retirement. Why? Because a 12.99% interest rate is like trying to beat the market every year, because the S&P typically returns anywhere between 8 to 10%. So after that free money is all captured and put into your 401k, next best thing to do is to tackle the things that's killing you most, fight those enemies, level up first before you move on to step 3. Step 3 is opening or contributing to what's called an HSA, or a health savings account. Now, health savings account are a triple tax preferenced account. You put in the money, it's tax deductible, the money in the HSA can grow tax free, and when you use them for medical purposes, they are tax free as well. So it's a triple tax savings account, probably one of the best things to do. Go ahead and click the link up there or the links down below to see or to find out where you can open an HSA and if you qualify one, because you have to be part of what's called a high deductible health plan to get that. Step 4, if you got any money after contributing to the HSA, paying off those high credit card debt, and contributing maximum to your employer match on the 401k, then the next thing you can do is set up an individual IRA. Typically it's going to be a Roth IRA, as those funds in the Roth IRA grow tax-free and are, when you're 59 and a half, can be withdrawn tax-free. So when you think about this in the game, we're going to start using our extra resources to get little guys that can help us get more or gather or beat more enemies more efficiently. And the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA, like these two guys here, can be joined, or we can recruit them to be on our team to help our investments and our money grow faster, quicker, and better for retirement. Another benefit with these two guys, the IRA route, is you have a vast majority of stocks, investments, mutual funds that you can put your money towards. 401ks usually only have anywhere between 8 to 20, sometimes up to 100, but usual plans don't have that much choices. So with an IRA, you'll be able to choose any stock you want. Next, step 5, if you manage to max out your Roth IRA, and that's $6,000 or $7,000 if you are in catch-up phase, that's 50 years and older, you will be able to contribute the rest of that money into your 401k. In the year 2021, the maximum that you can put into your 401k is $19,500, and for 2022, that number goes up by $1,000 to $20,500. So if you can max out your 401k, we can move on to step 6. Now, step 6 is going to be kind of like step 2, but with a little lower threshold on interest. So typically, if you have interest that's anywhere between 3 to 5%, this can be auto loans, or maybe personal loans or personal lines of credit or HELOCs with anywhere between 3 to 5% interest, you want to pay down those things because a safe rate of return from the market is probably going to be 8%, which could be higher, but the market's not guaranteed. And while these lower interest rate debt amounts are potentially, going to cause you smaller than your market return, the guarantee of having to pay interest sometimes or most times will outweigh the ability to save more money. So step 6, take out your medium interest rate problems. If you have interest rates that are below 1% or below 3% actually, it might be better to hold off paying those out. Just pay the minimum amount so you don't get any late penalties, and use the rest to push into step 7, which is opening up an individual account that's taxable, maybe from Webull or from Robinhood, where you can self-direct everything and put all kinds of money in there if you have any more money after contributing to all of these steps, which would probably be closer to $30,000 already in money that you're putting into retirement, which is a great start. Step 7 is kind of like what I would like to call it in gaming terms as the end game.
We're in the end game now.
Pretty much you've got everything set up, you're all leveled up to level 100, and all you're really doing in step 7 is grinding and getting the final gear, all the awesome things that you can get in the end game, which is like your high class gear, could be a Tesla, could be the end game weapons, end game abilities. All these things, of course, can only be achieved though if you first pass the first 6 levels, and don't forget about saving your progress. All right, I hope that helps you kind of figure out how you should be saving for retirement, which accounts or which balances of debt you should tackle on first. Make sure you don't miss out on the free money from your employer, and I'll see you in the next video. Gosh, it's hot. Don't need all this equipment.